you mentioned, just going back, you mentioned awareness um, with your players, and both with and without the puck. But when you look at that, how much of that is taught, say, through video, and how much of that can be taught on the ice with drills, and just, I guess, maybe what have you found it has worked best?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is done with video. Hey, what was your thought process? On this play. It is done a lot with video. I think in practice you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to stop drills. If I identify one of these scenarios that happen in practice, stop the practice. Ask a player what his thought process was on this play, and you can do that in front of the group, or pull them aside in practice between reps. But it is, to be honest, it is a lot of video. I think it's so valuable. The one-on-one time, in particular, the intimate settings,
Yeah.
where it can really, break down the clips. You're putting on your undivided attention towards this player, and then I think and then that's part of that comfortable environment. They feel like they can talk honestly about, their play and what they were thinking, and know that, they're not going to get embarrassed for it, or yelled at or anything like that. So, um, yeah, I think that's important, and video is so valuable. I think, you know, I try to, as a head coach, try to see our players as much as I can, whether it's individual video, whether, it's, hey, how's everything going? How's your billets? How's school? How's your family? Um, and it's not always, hey, come see your clips. We'll try to mix it up. We'll, hey, have a seat. We'll watch Patrice Bergeron's last game. Let's see what he's
Yeah.
up to. Or if a player's in a slump, or things aren't going well for him, they're getting ready to see some of their negative clips, and it's a pump up video with all their highlights and some tunes, and we jam out, and then send them on their way. So I think it's important to kind of mix it up. Sitting on the head coach's couch isn't a negative thing. It's, um, you know, you'd be surprised that, how much of a, you know, positive experience it can be. It's not always the bad stuff. And I keep a player meeting log. Players' last visit with me, so I make sure I'm not, missing any players, or players haven't had any FaceTime with me in a while. I keep a chart of that, and I think that's part of the, my personal coaching habits. I find that note taking is really important. I take drill notes after practice, player development notes, game notes after every game. I think that's very helpful. And what the player knows, hey, what was the meeting about, what we talked about, and it holds us as coaches accountable, making sure we're, spending that time with each player. Same thing on the ice. If we, take a player aside and do, a footwork package, or, puck handling
Yeah.
package, we document it. We put it in our player development notes. Um, it's just a good way to keep track. You can reference it at any time, and I think more than anything keeps us as coaches accountable, and make sure we're putting the proper attention to every player.
That's really interesting, because I think it's human nature, and especially as coaches, where it's so easy to dwell on the negative, right? Like, a kid could have the the best game of his career, but if the coach goes through the video, and they'll probably focus on the three things they did wrong, and not the things they did right. Like, how do you make sure that you and your staff are intentional about maybe finding the positives, or at the very least taking some of those teachable moments and making sure they're delivered in a positive way?
Yeah, I think it's just what you said. I think we're always we're looking for the more we're looking for the positive clips more than the negative clips. We're trying to catch somebody doing things right, so we can highlight that. And I think it's important to highlight those things in front of the group. If a player's been struggling, you can highlight them, doing good things in front of the group. You can, maybe get a boost of confidence for that player. Um, I think that's important. We try to keep things fun as well. It can be monotonous day in and day out with some of this video. I'll sneak in some funny clips in the meetings and things like that. For example, we had Kyle Krinkovic just scored a goal with an old school clapper down the wing. Um, and I spliced in a clip of that old Wayne Gretzky clip where he's
Oh yeah,
coming
against
down
Calgary.
the
Yeah,
wing and he goes with the clapper. I think it was on Mike Vernon again
yeah,
in
it was.
Calgary
Yeah.
in the playoffs. I'm like, I think I've seen this before. Some of it might go over their head, but you try to make it fun. Um, as a staff, something different every day. We're I think coaches sometimes can take themselves too seriously. We try to put aside the ego and be down to earth. And try to have some fun at the rink. Where some of our motivational stuff is unique, I think. We try to have fun with it. For example, last year we had several wrestling promos before games to make it fun. I think Matt Marquardt, our assistant coach,
What's a
was
wrestling promo? I've got a couple ways this could go.
like just the old school wrestling promos with Mean Gene Okerlund
Oh
back
yeah,
in the
yeah.
day.
Who's
You
doing
know,
those? Is that the coaching staff or is that the
Yeah, the
players?
coaches. Matt
That's
Marquardt
awesome.
does an unbelievable Stone Cold.
That's
He
awesome.
does a good Hulk Hogan. And Kyle Hagel last year, he did the Nature Boy Ric Flair to a T. So, our guys knew it was a big game when the wrestling promos came out. So we got a kick out of it. The guys had a lot of fun with it. Maybe break some of the nerves, I think, before the game. But just an example of how we're trying to make it fun at the rink. Yeah, this is of course a serious level of hockey, and you know for sure that the results are important, but we want to make the experience for our players fun at the same time. So all that is part of it.
I look at your roster, so you got a lot of really high end players that you got in your room, and then obviously just the nature of junior hockey. You got a lot of young kids as well. So Bill Belichick was on Tom Brady's podcast yesterday, and he was talking about how early on in their relationship, once Tom kind of became Tom, they would be in a team meeting room, and Bill would lean into him like really hard, like put him on tape and carve him up a little bit. And afterwards, like the first couple of times, he'd be like, "Hey, pull him aside. Hey, Tom, like, yeah, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to do that, but gosh, like we just got to. Everybody's got to know that you're going to get treated the same as everybody else." And Tom's like, "Hey, he's like, I embrace it. Like I want that." He's like, "I can't have a relationship with my teammates if you treat me differently." So he's like, so they just had this really, I guess, unique dynamic, and so not suggesting that the message here is, hey, you got to go in and lean on your hard guys, but how do you know in an environment where you got a kid that's getting an NHL paycheck or has at least seen one with his name on it, and another kid that's was playing community hockey last year, how do you help keep everybody aligned on the same page?
Well, I think you want to treat everyone the same, and we try to do that. Part of our one of our core beliefs is earn your place. I
Yeah,
think one thing in junior hockey is, I think players think it's their turn. Hey, I'm
yeah,
18 now. It's my turn to play more. Or I'm 19. I should be on the power play. Or give me a letter. It's my turn. And we try to get the message across that it's nobody's turn. Everything's earned here. Whether you're 16, 17, we'll throw a letter on a 17-year-old, no problem if they deserve it. So it's nobody's turn to play, nobody's turn to be on the power play. You have to earn that. And I think, that's the way we treat our players. I think obviously the guys that are established, sometimes they've earned the trust and they've earned maybe a little bit more rope as far as making plays and things like that. But um, I think if you're going to call out, and we don't call anyone out, I shouldn't say that. If you're gonna show negative clips for your fourth liner, you better show the negative clips for your top end guys as well. And we do that. I think when it comes to video, when it comes to our identity, nobody gets off the hook.
Yeah.
It's going to be showed. We do have an environment where it's okay to make mistakes, and we're coaching the intentions. So as long as you have the right intentions, you know, we can accept that. But when it comes to our identity, some of our identity things, guys aren't getting off the hook for that. It's going to be seen whether it's a lazy back check, or a selfish penalty, a long shift, whatever the case may be. In terms of our identity, it's being shown.
Coaches ask me all the time how they can get more accomplished during their practice. My answer: huddle. Here's why. Because the more you can teach and educate off the ice, the more progress you can make on the ice. Huddle is the leading video and data solution for ice hockey in the world. Huddle delivers simple yet powerful video review tools with desktop and mobile apps, enabling entire teams to review, study, and share video anywhere and at any time. Plus, with Huddle Assist, you can quickly get access to a full suite of game stats along with your film breakdown. So you can analyze both your team's and individual player performance, ensuring you provide objective feedback. Right now, listeners of the Glassnote podcast can get a great discount on Huddle products. To learn more, check out huddle.com/the coaches site for details on this exclusive offer. That's HUDL.com/the coaches site.